Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Hello, everyone. You're welcome to today's edition of Money Radio, a program that brings to you the latest developments in Nigeria's business and economy cycles and issues of businesses around the world. My name is Innocent Odo, and together we shall look at the construction of the 1,980-kilometer oil pipeline from Niger to Benin Republic by China after a failed attempt to get Nigeria's interest in the $7 billion project. So we're looking at the implication of that to the Nigerian economy and the oil sector development. But before we do that, let's take a news items on issues surrounding businesses around the country. For Nigeria to eliminate fuel subsidies, it will be needed to shift its focus to other fuel alternatives. That's coming from the Director of the Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR, Sarki Awalu. Awalu noted this at the second quarter of 2021 business dinner of the Petroleum Club in Lagos, convened by Proprietary Investment Company Limited. He added that the country was only operating 1,300 of its 7,000 reservoirs, noting that the department aimed to achieve refinery revolution as defined under the decade of gas. The Minister of Science and Technology, Mr. Ogbonna Onu, has called for the production of indigenous solar cells, stressing that the production would drop the price of solar panels by 60% and make positive impact on many industries in Nigeria. The minister made the call during a virtual meeting he had with the Director General of the International Renewable Energy Agency based in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, Francesco Lacamera, in his office in Abuja. This was in a statement issued by the press officer of the ministry, Josephine Ademu, at the weekend, noted that the minister also expressed optimism that indigenous production will aid Nigeria's transformation into the green economy. And the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has recovered 548,000 tramadol tablets branded as Takadol at Nkwele, Oyi local government area of Anambra State. The agency's director, media and advocacy, Femi Babafemi, said this in a statement made available to reporters in Abuja. Mr. Babafemi said the drugs were seized at the warehouse of a major drug kingpin, Okekechijoke, of number 3 Atunya Street, Maryland, in Nkwele, Oyi local government of Anambra State. And still in the news, Nigeria's import of agricultural goods between January 2017 and March 2020 surpassed its export in the period by 3.93 trillion naira. The total value of trade in agricultural products in the period under review was 6.2 trillion, comprising 5.04 trillion imports and 1.14 exports, with a trade deficit of 3.9 trillion naira. This was reviewed by the Minister of Agriculture, Sabo Nanono. These figures were arrived at after an analysis of foreign trade data obtained from the website of the National Bureau of Statistics. That's it for the news. Let's come back to the major item on the table, which is the construction of oil pipeline from Niger to Benin Republic. And we are looking at the implication that has on the Nigerian economy. And I'm being joined by my guests here in the studio. We have, let's start with a female, as they always say, the ladies first. I will have Nse Anthony Oko with us. Nse, you're welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
And also here with us is Case Hammond. Case, you're welcome.
Thanks.
And then we have Isaac Amoria. Isaac, you're welcome.
My pleasure to be here.
So, gentlemen, we are talking about issues concerning this construction of a 1,980-kilometer oil pipeline from Niger Republic to Benin Republic, and that has a very huge impact on the economy of both countries. We are wondering why what some very, I may say, very small African countries taking such a project, taking advantage of such a project from a Chinese company. And then the big brother, as we normally call ourselves, Nigeria, probably are left out of this very huge project that will also have an important impact on Nigeria's economy. Let me begin with you, Nse Anthony. Can you just give us an overview of what you understand by these projects?
Thank you. You said Nigeria as the big brother was left out, but I wouldn't say Nigeria was left out, because Nigeria first had the first opportunity to have taken up the project. If we recall, in 2006, the Chinese company made a bid to buy the Kaduna refinery under the Bureau of Public Enterprises Privatization Program, and they had made a bid of $102 million, an offer for the Kaduna refinery, and Nigeria turned down that offer. Of course, there are many reasons for having turned it down. Of course, the BPP, while not holding forth for them, I would say they want to ensure that Nigeria's assets are privatized and they get fair value for those assets. And they may have considered that the $102 million that the Chinese company offered was not fair value for it, so the offer was turned down. But be that as it may, the company had planned to construct the said pipeline from Niger to the Kaduna refinery, from where it will supply crude to the refinery for refining purposes, and from there there would be room for export of the crude, and then Nigeria would also benefit from the fuel that is refined from there for local consumption as well. So I wouldn't say that Nigeria was left out. Nigeria had the first opportunity to have taken up that project, and our government turned it down.
Yes, indeed. I was still staying with you, Nse. Turning down such a project, yes, with the advantages that it could have brought to Nigerian economy, does it make any economic sense, from the angle of policymakers of the country, knowing fully well that Niger, very close to Nigeria, could easily have, brought in that crude? After all, they are already an oil-producing country, even though not in large quantity as Nigeria, if you like. So, but that would have been an added advantage to the Nigerian oil, sector, if they are able to bring in their crude to Kaduna refinery.
Yes, it would have been an added advantage for Nigeria in terms of the benefit that will accrue from it, in terms of the infrastructure that that would have put on ground in the country, in terms of the job creation, the people that would have been involved in the construction, in terms of the revamping of the Kaduna refinery, the people who would have to work there, and a lot of other benefits that would have trickled down into the economy. So, but be that as it may, like I said earlier, our government officials, they may have had their reasons for that. And let's not forget that the project was to bring in crude oil from Niger Republic, and maybe they may have thought about it, that how about harnessing Nigeria's crude for that refinery? So accepting that project, taking up that project, would have mean that you're cutting off Nigeria from having its own crude brought into Kaduna refinery for refining. That may not have gone down well with the policymakers. That may have been one of the reasons I'm not holding court for them. And then also, like I said earlier, the Bureau of Public Enterprises wants a fair value for the Nigeria's assets that it were privatizing. So with that, the amount that was offered may have been seen as not being good enough for a fair value, considered a fair value for the country. So that may have been some of the reasons policymakers had for turning down the offer. But be that as it may, the benefits that would have accrued in terms of all the benefits we've highlighted, in terms of job creation, in terms of infrastructure, Nigeria has not gained it, and it has moved on to our neighbors, Benin Republic.
Case, you heard what she said. Nigeria has not gained, and it has moved on to other places. So opportunity lost in Nigeria is a gain to other people. That may actually come as a result of the policy, what they call policy flip-flops in Nigeria. And even no matter how little that might have been, if they have harnessed it to the part that Nigeria, to the Nigerian side, it would also have helped in, creating the opportunities that she had, enumerated here. Now, look at it from that angle and see if that the responses of the government, policymakers has always been, in the direction of adding value to the economy of the country.
Well, I just wanted to add to what she was saying. I read a report. How true that report is, I can't say. But I heard in that report, I read that the Kaduna refinery was designed to refine crude from Venezuela. That is the thick crude. Yes, that it was designed to refine not Nigeria's crude, but that from Venezuela. So I don't understand really the economics behind it, but given hindsight, that was a wrong decision. If that refinery had been sold at a rate of $102 million in 2006, as you said, the country wouldn't have incurred the degree of loss that we have had so far, because millions have been pumped into that refinery with nothing to show for
way
it.
of turnaround maintenance and all that.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Besides that, I want to comment a little bit on the pipeline being diverted from Nigeria to Benin Republic. If you look at Agadem, the town Agadem, when you enter Niger Republic from the Nigerian side, it's not far, not very far. So the issue is the engineers, the Chinese company, actually had to go further west of Niger Republic, and then that is the design. You have to go further west before moving down to Benin Republic. That is, as the story says, 1,980 kilometers. From Agadem in Niger Republic to Lagos is about 1,572 kilometers. From Agadem to Port Harcourt is about 1,492 kilometers. So if you do simple mathematics, divide 1,980, or you divide 7 billion by 1,980, you have something around $3.5 plus million. That will be the average amount spent per kilometer of that pipeline. That is, by 1,980, you have $7 billion. If that had come through Lagos, the company would have spent something like 5.5 million. That means they would have 5.5 billion. That means they would have saved 1.5 billion. If through Port Harcourt, the company would have spent, which is 1,492 kilometers, the company would have spent 5.27 billion, which is about, they would have saved something like $1.7 billion. So it's actually costlier constructing through Benin Republic to export their oil. It would have been cheaper, and Nigeria would have benefited.
Okay, now let me come to Isaac, and we're asking what are the potential impacts this pipeline will have for the demand of Nigeria's crude.
Well, the crude, crude oil it's an international product. Those who need crude oil would, of course, look at all the factors you consider in business. Okay, the quality, then the cost. Okay, so those who need the crude will go for the type of crude they want, and of course for the right cost. Okay, so that is that. But I also want to comment on the loss, that we have incurred as a result of not accepting, or not accepting the offer made by the Chinese government. I think it's a reflection of our non-committal attitude, towards projects generally, especially in the oil and gas sector. Because if you look at the joint venture, deals that we have in Nigeria, it is the same problem. You make commitments on paper when it is time for you to make your contribution to this project. Okay, the Nigerian government is always not forthcoming. The IOCs in Nigeria have complained severally. Okay, so most times you see the oil companies using their own money to execute these projects. You understand? Then at the end of the day, they will now be looking for how they can get the money, from the Nigerian government. They come up with all kinds of, designs. Okay, so it is a reflection of our general non-committal attitude to investment in the oil and gas sector. But I also want to note that we are on the eve of the PIB, so to say. We are maybe some days away, or some weeks away, or some months away from having the petroleum industry bill, okay, that would eventually revolutionize, the oil and gas sector. So perhaps the NNPC factored all of this in, because if you recall, the PIB has been in the works for some years. Okay, perhaps they also considered, that factor. But in all, like my co-panelists have said, it is a huge loss to Nigeria. Would have gained jobs. Okay, perhaps the insurgency that we are dealing with now wouldn't have been, on this scale if we had some of the young people in Niger, in Nigeria, and other Nigeria, who were able to put their hands, to jobs.
Okay, you are still with us. We've been talking about the impact or implications of the Benin Republic and Niger oil pipeline that has been constructed by the Chinese company CPP. We will take a short break, and when we return, we shall continue with the discussion.
Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Okay, welcome back from the short break. We're still discussing about the Benin Republic, Niger Republic oil pipeline constructed by the Chinese company CPP. And we have been, Isaac, we were making a point before we went on that short break, and I want to follow it up with a question. Yeah. The Nigerian public has been excited about the upcoming Dangote refinery. There's so much talk about it, and people are already anxiously waiting to hear to see it take off. Now, with this development of the pipeline, oil pipeline between Niger and Benin Republic, would it actually have any impact on the Dangote refinery that is coming on stream?
Yes, it just creates an alternate market, for the Dangote refinery by the time it comes on stream. because we know we are still dealing with the issue of insecurity, militancy in the Niger Delta, and that is a challenge, for Nigeria, and of course all the investments in Nigeria, especially in the oil and gas sector. So, but now that we're going to have this investment in neighboring Benin Republic, so by the time Dangote refinery comes on stream, they have the option, to either buy Nigerian crude or buy from Benin Republic or the Niger-Benin, market, so to say. So it's a plus for the brains behind the Dangote, refinery. So Nigeria will actually have to sit up, so that we attend to all the issues that are the issues around militancy, attacks on oil pipelines and all that, so that we can guarantee stable, supply of crude from Nigeria to Dangote refinery.
I like the point.
Okay, you want to make a contribution to that?
Yeah,
okay,
that's
go
a
ahead.
beautiful one.
Yeah.
It's just that there's a little caveat right there. Like my fellow panelists said, it gives an alternative market. Or supply line. Take, for example, there is the eventuality of sabotage along the Niger Delta Lagos corridor. If there is any sabotage in that corridor, the Dangote could just switch over to neighboring Benin Republic and get the crude that is needed to refine and get the supply out there to Nigerians. On the other hand, considering one or two technicalities, the quality of crude that the Dangote refinery is designed to refine may be different from what is in Niger Republic. We have the light sweet crude here, Bonny Light, and which is close to the quality of West Texas International or Brent. It's light oil. But the one in Benin Republic, which may be heavier, the fact that that same Chinese company had interest in buying the refinery in Kaduna may just speak to that wisdom that is the quality of oil they have in Niger Republic, which may not align with the design of the Dangote refinery. We can't say for sure. I don't have that knowledge, but that is just a caveat that I was trying to bring out.
Okay, there's another thing to you and say. We talk about area of cooperation now, but there's some also areas of competitiveness in that sector. So where Dangote refinery is a plus to them that this is coming on stream, there's a reality also that is done on all of us that we now have a competitor in that sector. I want you to touch on that simultaneously with also looking at the potential environmental impact for that venture.
Okay. Let's not forget that Dangote refinery will be refining crude oil for products. We're talking about PMS, we're talking about diesel and all the other attendant products that comes with it. The Benin Republic Niger project is a crude oil pipeline. So it is majorly for export. The Niger Republic is majorly a landlocked country.
Yes.
And it produces crude. They have a refinery that refines for local consumption. Well, the idea here now is for them to be able to get their crude to a port where they can export. So these are two different things. They are really scenarios that would not, in as much as it will be competitive in that Dangote can get its crude from them or from Nigeria. But in terms of having refined products, those are two different scenarios here. So it's good. It's good. Then for Dangote refinery, I believe all the issues of environment, they have taken all of that into consideration. And the same way the other the exploration that has been going on in the country has been going on, and right now even with the PIB, they are working on cleaning up, having a better environment, environmental, the green environment and all that, while the work of exploration and refining is going on. I believe that that will also play out here. And
so what you're saying is that the environmental aspect may have been taken care of before some of these projects will come on stream. Okay. Now, there's something that is very common with what all the contributions all of you have made here now is the issue of job creation. That's something that is needed to help the young people in the country. And then this is one aspect that we seem to be missing from this whole project. And then I want to ask you again and say, can you quantify the job losses in terms of the number of jobs that we have lost as a result of these issues of pipeline, oil pipeline between Niger and
Okay. So while it may not be the figures are not right there, but it suffices to say that a huge number of jobs have been lost, particularly in the north, where the issue of insecurity is high.
Yes.
So that would have been a very big boost for the youth in that region to be profitably engaged. And once they are profitably engaged, it would have diverted their attention from all these issues that is breeding insecurity. So while we may not be able to put a number to the volume of jobs that have been lost, it is right to say that the opportunity in terms of job creation that has been lost is huge.
Isaac, you were to make a point on the issue of job creation there.
Yes, yes. This is actually very correct. Except that some specialized jobs in the oil and gas sector can actually be sourced from everywhere. The routine jobs, yes, we lost that. Okay, but there are some specialized jobs, pipeline welding, and all that. So you actually need specialists. So even Nigerians in any part of our country now can actually go there, okay, and they'll be highly sought after. But we have a local content act. If we got the Chinese to build this pipeline in Nigeria with our local content act, we would have been able to domesticate much of these jobs, that are now going, to other nationals. Okay. So I think that's one point we need to make. It's a loss, yes, but some specialists, the oil and gas sector can still leverage on, the job opportunities, along the Niger-Benin, corridor.
Okay, Case, you were angling to say something about the issue of the jobs again.
Yeah. Just like my colleague said, we have actually lost it. Those menial jobs, digging and concreting, we have lost it. But internationally, those jobs are there, and they will always be sought after. And the nearest point to get those jobs is Nigeria. And I think we will gain from that end.
Well, we will gain from that, and if we put our hearts together in the next policy objectives of the government, especially as it concerns the oil and gas sector. We have been talking about the oil pipeline constructed by the Chinese company, China Petroleum Pipeline Engineering Company. They has handled that project worth $7 billion. And we've been looking at the issues of the implication it has on Nigeria. And of course, I've been in the studio with Mr. Anthony Oko. Mr. Thank you once again for joining us.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much, Guest Hammond, for joining us in today's program. And of course, don't forgetting our own Isaac Amurie for also joining us to do justice to this very important topic.
Thank you, Innocent.
Thank you so much, everyone. And I thank my producer, Bayo Amodu. And it's on that note that we say thank you so much, and we'll promise to come with a bumper edition next time. Goodbye.
Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.